I like the wine and not the label. Does that make sense?
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to MsMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times David Rose was the best character on Schitt's Creek.
Okay, so what's going on here?
David, the pedals make it move more.
Okay, ciao. Ciao. I said ciao to that person.
For this list, we're looking at those times that David Rose was among the funniest, most insightful, and most likable characters on TV. What's your favorite David Rose quote? Let us know in the comments. All right, let's get to it. Number 10, David and Moira Rose's Christmas routine.
You were right, my dear. I've had my time, and it's over now.
I don't think I said that.
Any traditions good enough for Christmas are good enough for the Asbestos Fest. When Moira's decision to stage a one-woman show for Schitt's Creek's residents proves to be a touch too ambitious for the veteran actress to pull off in a single day, David jumps in to save his mother.
What if we did the number?
David and Moira put on a show for the ages, one defined by Christmas sweaters, funky hairdos, and dad jokes.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me the keys to a Lamborghini.
While David has chemistry with everyone, his scenes with Moira tend to be especially hilarious, and in this instance, also quite touching.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. May.
Number 9. David throws Jocelyn Schitt's sprinkle. From the second a frustrated Jocelyn walks into Rose Apothecary and masterfully manipulates David into taking charge of her baby shower, the laughs do not stop coming.
Yeah, I mean, somebody like you, or you, who would just help me organize this before I snap.
Well, I'm sure I could help you out.
In the lead up to the event, David learns about the existence of a sprinkle, figures out that booze and fish are probably not great for pregnant women, and has a close encounter with a creepy piñata.
Yeah, don't think we can smash a baby with a stick tonight, but
It's not a real baby, Dave.
the fact that you got it from the dollar store does make me wary of what's gonna fall out of it, though.
While he spends most of this episode in varying states of exasperation, David does manage to pull off a pretty great shower, even if it basically involves turning Jocelyn into a state fair game.
We're each gonna take turns popping pills into mommy's mouth. Now, unfortunately, these are breath mints. We couldn't afford actual benzos. But the person that does get the most tranks into mommy's mouth will walk away with whatever's left of the soft cheese station.
Number 8. David helps his mom destroy the pictures. What screams love more than destroying a memory card filled with less than flattering photos?
I had a prolific day with your mother today.
Yes, she said.
Very excited about the shoot. The photos are really haunting.
Haunting. I'm sure she'd be thrilled about that adjective.
When David's ex, Sebastian Rain, approaches Moira for a photo shoot, it soon becomes apparent that perhaps the handsome artist's intentions are not as they seem. Moira comes to regret the session, prompting David to take matters into his own hands and confront Sebastian.
Give me the memory card, Sebastian.
Moira, I'm scared for us.
Oh, you mean this memory card?
Culminating in a sweet victory for the Roses as a unit and David as an individual. This is a delightful moment that illustrates how much both characters on the show had grown in the span of 3 seasons.
It accidentally fell out of your camera into my hand last night, and then fell out of my hand into my drink. And then I stepped on it a lot.
Number 7. David and Patrick Brewer's first kiss. Even if the pair's first meeting does not go perfectly, sparks fly from the second David and Patrick share a scene.
You're either very impatient or extremely sure of yourself.
Threw you a bit of a change up there, huh?
Yeah, again, I don't know what that means. I don't play cricket.
Over the course of roughly half a season, these two go from being strangers to owning a business together, setting the foundations for one of the best relationships on the show.
What is it?
Oh, it's just the receipt from our first sale at the store.
This is not nothing. So thank you.
After a successful soft launch and a sweet birthday dinner, the stars finally align as David and Patrick share their first kiss. This moment is not only one of the most satisfying in the series, but it changes the entire trajectory of David's life. Number 6. David decides to stay in Schitt's Creek.
I love New York. It was just a weird time in my life. But I don't want you moving somewhere that you're not excited about.
As the Roses' financial fortunes finally turn, David, and by extension Patrick, have a tough decision to make: relocate to New York or put down roots in Schitt's Creek. Pre-Patrick, David would not have hesitated to go to New York and prove everyone who doubted him wrong. But a lot can change in 6 seasons.
Patrick found us a house.
Okay, I don't know how we'd be able to afford a house.
The house is here. I think we're going to stay.
Through a string of powerful but still funny scenes, David makes his decision, climaxing in a touching moment that serves as a great precursor to the couple's wedding.
You do know that I've already seen this house, right?
I do.
So then why are we here?
Because I put an offer in, and they accepted.
Schitt's Creek might not be the stage for the rest of their lives, but it's exactly what David and Patrick need right now.
What about New York? I thought that's where you wanted to be.
I thought so too, but it's not where you want to be. And I don't want to be anywhere you don't want to be.
Number 5. David talks trust with Alexis.
You want to talk trust? Stevie and Mom weren't running around the world for a decade and a half with random men, leaving me at home to wonder whether they were okay.
With every passing episode, the Roses grow more open with each other, and that is perhaps the most evident when it comes to David and Alexis. The siblings share plenty of memorable exchanges and hugs throughout the series, but things get surprisingly emotional when Alexis questions why David does not trust her.
I was the one at home not having fun because I was constantly worried which East Asian palace Alexis was being held hostage in this week.
David's speech hits right in the feels and shows that while the Roses always protected each other, Schitt's Creek allows them to admit it.
Well, you didn't have to worry about me.
Well, I did.
It's kind of hard to believe that these are the same people who once argued about who should die first in case of a break-in.
I need that bed
Why?
because I need it.
Why?
Because if someone were to break in here in the middle of the night wanting to murder us, they would attack this bed first. So I need this bed.
Number 4. David likes the wine, not the label.
Just to be clear, I'm a red wine drinker.
That's fine.
Okay, cool, but I only drink red wine.
Okay.
Schitt's Creek applies a deft touch when it comes to themes revolving around sexuality, and perhaps the greatest example of the show's sensitivity and inclusivity is David's wine metaphor.
Up until last night, I was under the impression that you too only drank red wine. But I guess I was wrong.
I see where you're going with this.
After a one-night stand with Stevie, David reveals that he likes all sorts of wines, and that he is only interested in the contents rather than the labels.
I do drink red wine, but I also drink white wine. And I've been known to sample the occasional rosé.
Pansexual characters are rarely presented on TV, making Schitt's Creek quite unique. However, David is hardly defined by his sexuality. Like David with wine, this is a character who cannot be reduced to a label.
Yeah, so you're just really open to all wines.
I like the wine and not the label. Does that make sense?
Number 3. David tells Ted Mullens that he's got it. While David and Ted don't have too many scenes together, they make the most of each one.
You know how many off-road dirt bike tours I had to take just to get her out of my head?
Shockingly, never been on a dirt bike. But I'm sure like a lot.
During a time when both characters are trying to find the resolve to reciprocate a declaration of love, David tells Ted what he knows and helps the veterinarian find the courage to pursue a new relationship with Alexis.
So I am just going to tell you what I know.
Although this speech helps Ted, David is also talking to himself, and he takes his own advice.
But I think it's important for us to remember that sometimes it does work out. And even though everything inside us is telling us to protect ourselves, when you've got it, don't let it go.
In many ways, the fact that these two characters are not especially close makes the scene even better, as David's openness shows his character growth. Number 2. David supports Patrick as he comes out to his parents. Schitt's Creek serves as a masterclass on how to inject comedy into dramatic situations without undermining the characters' emotional experiences.
So all this time, your parents thought they were just talking to your business partner.
For Patrick's birthday, David sets up a surprise party and invites his boyfriend's parents. This decision initially backfires when Johnny accidentally outs Patrick, leading to David's day getting messy and potentially quite dark.
What you're dealing with is very personal. and it's something you should only do on your terms.
The character is at his supportive best throughout this episode, as David gives Patrick the room to handle the situation at his own pace.
What if they don't react the way I think they will?
And I will be here, and we'll get through it together.
Like always, David manages to produce plenty of laugh-out-loud moments to go along with the heartwarming scenes.
So I know that you're annoyed that the surprise got blown, but this party might go down as one of the happiest nights of my life.
Well, I guess that makes up for the fact that no one ate the crab cakes.
I've said it once, and I will say it again. For me, Schitt's Creek is all about the evolution of the characters, and David's journey is one of the most iconic and important. So let's check out some honorable mentions, and then we'll see the top time he was the best character on the show. David and Moira's Enchiladas. Because if these two somehow got a cooking show, the world would be a better place.
Next step is to fold in the cheese.
What does that mean? What does fold in the cheese mean?
He folds it in.
I understand that, but how do you fold it? Do you fold it in half like a piece of paper and drop it in the pot, or what do you do?
David's panic attack. Because, as David learns, panic attacks are real.
The good thing is, I don't think that you need an ambulance, David, because what I think is happening here is you're having a panic attack.
Oh no, those aren't real. Those are a PR spin for celebrity publicists. Trust me, I've known enough celebrity.
David does karaoke, because David is a good friend and a fun singer.
Yes, Tammy! Tammy, everybody! Tammy! Yeah!
David does baseball, because few things scream love like David playing baseball.
Next time, can you make sure the ball goes into my glove? Thanks so much.
David helps Wendy Kurtz sell Blouse Barn and get a better price, because David takes after his father and is one incredible businessman.
Now, if you'll excuse us, we have another meeting to get to.
We're in our store.
We await your reply.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. David performs the best for Patrick. Whenever Tina Turner is involved, Schitt's Creek becomes untouchable.
What is this? Consider this my olive branch.
As an apology for being a touch greedy, David decides to stage a one-man show for Patrick, and it is nothing short of awesome. A callback to that time Patrick serenaded David during an open mic night at Rose Apothecary, this performance is endearing, sweet, and naturally quite funny. David has been burned so often that vulnerability does not come easy, so this unwavering demonstration of passion is a huge deal for the character. There is no song more appropriate for David and Patrick than Tina Turner's The Best. When we were choosing entries for this list, I wanted to make sure that we had a lot of entries that reflected him doing something selfless for another character, because that was kind of a skill he had to develop throughout the show. So, what time do you think that David was simply the best? Be sure to let us know in the comments, or come tell me on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton, or on my YouTube channel. See ya!